Hey guys, it's Jessie and welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to today's video where we have a really exciting one that I have been working on for a while. You'll have seen in my past couple of videos I have been mentioning doing like a big video plan, and this is it. Basically, what I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to be reading all of the top 10 thrillers and mystery books according to Goodreads from last year. So every year about November-ish, they do the Goodreads Choice Awards. They nominate a bunch of books in certain categories, and then people vote, and then it gets to a final, and then they vote again, and then you get the kind of winner of the best thriller, mystery or fiction, debut, romance, whatever category of the year. So I got this idea from Meg with Books and Books and Lala, who both did videos last year on the Goodreads Choice Awards and read through like a whole certain category. Obviously it's past the kind of nomination stage and the kind of like in between the final and nomination stage, so I'm not going to be like trying to read the whole nominees or trying to like guess what's going to come first or voting or anything, because obviously that's all past, but I am just going to be reading all of the books that were in the top 10, and I thought it would be fun to kind of share my thoughts, see how they align, because I've recently got into thrillers and mysteries a lot more, and I thought it'd be really fun. So the books that are in the Goodreads Choice Awards for mystery and thrillers, I'm just going off the top 10, which is basically the ones that made it to the final round. So in 10th place, and I'm going to be reading it from least to best, if that makes sense, so from 10th to 1st. So in 10th place we have Daisy Darker by Alice Feeney. These are all books that came out last year, and I read Rock Paper Scissors by Alice Feeney and really enjoyed it. This basically follows the Darker family, I believe, and it's and then there were none retelling. I'm quite excited for this, though I've heard mixed things. Then next up we have a book that I don't have physically, and that is going to be an audiobook. A couple of these I am going to be listening to via audio, and that is All Good People Here by Ashley Flowers. She, I believe, is one of the hosts of the Crime Junkie podcast, and I think it's her first book. Then we've got another audiobook which is in 8th place, and that is The It Girl by Ruth Ware. Again, I've heard good things about Ruth Ware. I really want to read some of her other books. Then we've got Killers of a Certain Age by Deanna Rayborn. I picked this one up from the library, and this one is probably one of the ones I'm least excited about. I don't really know if it's going to be my vibe, but I think it'll be interesting. I have heard good things. Then we've got one I'm probably most excited about, maybe this and another one, which is Wrong Place, Wrong Time by Gillian McAllister. I believe this is a little bit kind of magical realism speculative as well, because I think it's got a bit of a time travel aspect in there too. Then we've got The Book of Cold Cases by Simone St. James. I've heard good things about Simone St. James, and I'm very interested to read one of her books. These are all, besides Alice Feeney and one other, they're all new to me authors, so I'm very intrigued. This is obviously another library book. Then we have A Flicker in the Dark. This is probably alongside One Place, One Time my most anticipated one. This is, I think I've read the first few pages of this before, but this is basically a girl whose father's a serial killer, and then like 20 years later there's like copycat murders again. Then we've got The Bullet That Missed, which is the third book in the Thursday Murder Club series. I've read the other two and loved them, so I'm really excited for this one. Then we've got in 2nd place The Paris Apartment by Lucy Foley. Also very excited about this one. I haven't read anything from her before. And in 1st place was The Maid by Nita Prose, which I've heard nothing about. So I'm very intrigued to kind of see what I think. So this is the order of the books, with All Good People and The It Girl fitting in under here, and then The Maid on the top. So I've got all of them bar 3, which I think is pretty good. So 7 books here, and I think I'm going to put them in order of how good I think they'll be. So let's think. I'm gonna put All Good People here on the bottom, and then I'll put probably Killers of a Certain Age above All Good People here, and then Daisy Darker, just so I've heard some mixed things. Then I'll probably put The Book of Cold Cases, then The It Girl, then The Maid. Just imagine that they're there. Then we'll go for probably The Paris Apartment, The Bullet That Missed, Wrong Place, Wrong Time, and then Flicker in the Dark. So this is my predicted order. Obviously, as I mentioned with the other two, I believe I put All Good People here on the bottom, and then the other two just above The Book of Cold Cases. So that's my predictions. Hopefully we'll have a really good reading month, and yeah, I guess I'll just join you when I'm reading the first book. Okay, so I'm about 100 pages into Daisy Darker now, and to be honest, I don't have very many opinions at all. I like to do these kind of like partway through check-ins. I probably won't do another one unless something crazy happens and my opinion changes, but at the moment it's just okay. I'm kind of intrigued. I don't know what's going on. I don't really have any theories. I'm not liking it as much as I liked Rock Paper Scissors by Alice Feeney, but like I am enjoying it. The enjoyment level's there. It has taken me a while. Like it's taken me a few days to get up to 100 pages, which isn't normal for me with a thriller. I've been in like a minor reading slump, but not awful, and yeah, it just hasn't really been grabbing my attention too much, but like I'm excited to see where it goes. I might just try and like binge read the rest of it over the next day or two, because I obviously need to get cracking on this video, but yeah, it's just okay at the moment to me. I'm not sure where it's going to sit star wise. We are basically following the Darker family. They've got kind of like a reunion almost for their grandma's 80th birthday, and there's kind of the whole family there. There's like family secrets, and I think the premise is that they get killed off one by one. That's in the synopsis, and we've obviously had the first death. We've had the first death. I don't have too many theories, but that's just kind of where we are. I'll catch up to you, I think, unless something crazy happens or my opinion changes at the end. So I finished Daisy Darker, and I mean, I don't know. Okay, so I feel like, I guess there's like three main aspects to the twist. I guess the first kind of, not the first, but I guess one of the kind of smaller aspects, and then the other two aspects, I felt like nothing really shocked me. There was no shocking twist here. That was the thing. Everything that I read, I was like, okay, cool. Okay, cool. Oh, cool. Like, cool. There was no like, like when I read What Paper Scissors, I was literally gasping out loud. This one I was just like, oh, okay, cool. It was like I was reading like a regular like fiction book, and the plot was just progressing. It wasn't like a twist to me. It didn't like feel crazy. I think I'm gonna give this one a 3 stars. The final reveal, I'm really conflicted about it. I think it's interesting, but I also think it's like, I read it and I was like, huh? Really? That's really where we're going? Okay, I didn't love it. I really didn't love it that much. And yeah, it was just kind of like, I just have so like little feelings on it. That's the thing. I'm just so like, okay, like that was a book. I read it. I didn't hate it, but it was fine. So yeah, that was quite disappointing, to be honest, just because I did have higher expectations, but I'm glad I read it. It's a good release from last year. So yeah, now I'm currently, okay, I'm gonna film this on my phone because I don't want to have to sort out my dead camera battery right now, but my camera just died. But I was saying, I am partway through All Good People Here by Ashley Flowers, and again, it's kind of just okay. I'm intrigued, but I feel like I've got a couple of predictions. I'm not sure how much they will come into fruition, but yeah, I'm feeling similar to Daisy Darker. I'm just feeling it's kind of like, it's okay. I will say, I've heard other people say this is the exact same to the John Benet Ramsey case. Like, it's basically a direct copy. Instead of, I think she did pageants, this girl does like dance performances. It's got like a dodgy older brother. It's got 2 parents that care loads about like what people think about them. It's like set in a small town. She was found in the basement in her house. Instead of a ransom note, there's like a note on the wall. This is all stuff that you find out very soon on. This is not spoilers, but like there's so many parallels that like are just there, and it's just like, this is so clearly a direct copy, so I feel like I cannot rate it highly even if I do really enjoy it. But yeah, not overly thrilled, but like I'm enjoying the experience of listening to it via audiobook. So far we're basically following 2 timelines. The main one is Margot in 2019. She's like a crime reporter, and she was like friends with the girl who went missing initially, and she's just basically trying to figure out what's going on, what's happened, and like looking into the case, kind of talking to people in the town. She's just come back to the town, and then we're also following Chrissy, who's the mother of the girl that was murdered, sorry, not went missing, who's called January Jacobs, and it's following her, I think every like 3, 4, 5 chapters. We're following her kind of like on the day that she like found January and everything happened, and then like the subsequent, I think it jumps a bit to a few days later, and then like the following aftermath with like the police and the investigation and stuff like that. So it's okay. It's just okay. I'll update you when I'm more into it. Okay, so I just finished All Good People Here by Ashley Flowers, and I didn't like the end. I really didn't like the end. I feel like when I mentioned halfway through about kind of finding it quite predictable, I feel like it did start to go down that route, and like I predicted that, and then certain other things happened that it didn't really feel like any shock twists. It just kind of felt like information kept slowly getting revealed and revealed and revealed, and then there was like this really abrupt ending that I felt made no sense, didn't fit with the story, and was just there for shock value. And I really hate when books do that. It was just very underwhelming, and I just didn't think it makes sense. Like, if you think about the characters and the way that the story went, it didn't make any sense to me as the big reveal, and that again annoys me so much. So yeah, I was very disappointed with the way that this ended. It felt very rushed, very abrupt, and it felt like certain things were kind of shoehorned in to be like, oh, this explains it, and I was like, doesn't really. So yeah, and there was like a certain cliffhanger, but like that's the type of thing that I just didn't really care about, because I didn't really connect to the characters as well. That's another issue that I found. I found the main character very annoying. She just seemed like, I don't know, just very annoying. She seemed like she thought that she was always right and was just like relentlessly pursuing what she thought was right without kind of like thinking about the consequences and like the impact it had on other people, things like that. And just, yeah, she just doesn't seem like the type of person I can really gel with in terms of reading the book, and I think you're meant to root for her and like her. So yeah, overall it was just a bit disappointing, to be honest. I'm gonna give it a 2.5 because I didn't hate it, but just thought the ending was awful, to be honest. It like very much ruined what the book had. And I mean, it was a blatant rip-off of the John Benet Ramsey case, which is a bit ridiculous. I don't know how that didn't get like flagged up in like publishing or editing or anything, but yeah, 2.5. so definitely worse than Daisy Darker. So my ranking would currently go All Good People Here and then Daisy Darker. But next up we are starting the It Girl. I've like got like 5% into the audiobook and I'm definitely very intrigued so far, so I will update probably around the 50% point and let you guys know what I think. But hopefully we can finally get like a 4 or 5 stars, because these are meant to be the best thrillers of last year, and the first 2 are average and kind of bad, so we'll see where we go from here. Okay, so I just finished the It Girl audiobook and I have mixed opinions. There was a point before the like, it says the end, I don't know whether it's like an epilogue that I was listening to before that, where I was like, I hate this book, I can't believe that's how it's ended, I'm so annoyed. Then we had an epilogue, which obviously I much preferred, because I actually found out a lot more details that I was very annoyed that were missing, and certain things got resolved that I thought weren't going to be resolved, and I was very unhappy, but then it was okay. So I mean, I'm teetering with this one. I thought for a while it was going to be a 4-star, and then I don't know, the way I thought it was going to go, it was going to be like a 3-star, and then now I'm a little bit kind of in the middle. I think I would give it, I'm debating between a 3.5 and a 3.75. I will finalise that probably when I talk about my final ratings at the end, but it's hovering around there. So far it is the best book we've read so far. So obviously it goes All Good People Here, then Daisy Darker, and then the It Girl. I am starting Killers of a Certain Age next, which is very exciting, but overall I did like the It Girl. I found it very intriguing. I enjoyed listening to it by audiobook. It had some kind of like fun little bits of like when people were on the phone you could hear like it had like a slightly muffled sound effect, things like that, which is obviously always fun. And yeah, I thought the narrator was good, and I definitely liked the pacing, very fast paced, very intrigued the whole time. Some parts were very tense and I like could not stop listening. And yeah, overall I did think it was very enjoyable. I definitely would recommend. I think it's a solid thriller, but yeah, maybe 3.75. I'm not too sure right now, but yeah, did enjoy it, and yeah, now finished it. So yeah, now I'm on to Killers of a Certain Age, which we have here, and it's a library book, so I do want to finish this soon because my hold on it, and it's due back very soon. So yeah, that is going to be the next one. Okay, so we are just hit myself in the face. We are 125 pages into Killers of a Certain Age, as you can see here, but I am really enjoying it so far. I think it's such a cute little book. I wouldn't call it a thriller, and I wouldn't really call it a mystery either just yet, basically, but we are following a group of 4 assassins. They are on their retirement trip. It's an all-female group of assassins, and basically they're on their retirement trip on a cruise, but then they find out that there's someone from the like assassin agency on the cruise potentially targeting them, so then they have to go on the run, basically is the general premise. This is all in the synopsis. And also we are flashing forward from when the main kind of character Billy is first recruited to the agency, and then also present day timeline where they are on the cruise. And yeah, I'm having such a good time with it so far. I'm not feeling very tense. It's feeling very much like a cozy mystery, but I wouldn't really say mystery fully because there doesn't seem to be too much mystery. It more feels like cozy fiction to me, to be honest. But I am really enjoying it, and I'm liking it so far. And I think my enjoyment is on par with the It Girl, but the It Girl kind of ending I didn't really love. So I think overall this is probably my favourite book so far, which would make sense considering we're going up in the rankings. But yeah, I think it's pretty cute and I'm having a good time. So unless anything crazy happens, I'll probably catch up with you towards the end. But yeah, I am enjoying it, which is good. So I finished Killers of a Certain Age and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was so good. I think I'll probably give this a 4-star. It was just a really entertaining book. Definitely kind of gave me the kind of cozy mystery vibes. Definitely not like lacking in the violence or anything like that, so it's not cozy in terms of the low stakes, but just I think it was just like the kind of found family, the friendship between the women. It's obviously, I mean, they're not super old, they're like in their 60s I believe, so it's not quite like the Thursday Murder Club where they, you know, can't really be as active and stuff like that. But overall I did really enjoy it. I love the relationships between the characters. I liked the way the story progressed. I also kind of liked the way it was laid out, where there were kind of 3 main things that they had to do in like the second half of the book, and then you kind of just take you through each one. I quite like books like that are just like you kind of know what to expect sometimes. I mean, obviously a thriller with a plot twist and stuff like that, keeping you on your toes, is really good, and I definitely think this did keep me on my toes. But I also like kind of just being able to know where a story's going along. So yeah, it took me a little bit longer than I initially expected, but overall I did really enjoy this. So yeah, a solid 4-star. And I believe the next one we are going to start is Wrong Place Wrong Time by Gillian McAllister, which is one of my most anticipated ones. I think it's probably the one that I am hoping I'll rate the highest, but who knows. But yeah, I'll probably start that this evening. Okay, I'm just starting Wrong Place Wrong Time, and oh my god, look how big this font is. I am so happy. I don't know why I feel like I've been stuck with so many short, small font books, and it's just so big and it's just so satisfying. And oh my god, there's like text messages in here. I just love a book that makes you literally turn the page quickly, like not even just fast paced, just like literally turning pages quickly. I'm so happy. I did not see that coming. We had a little twist first, and then I just got to like the main, not the main twist even, I think we're like bang on halfway through, and I'm like, I did not put those two together. I did not put that little connection together. I did not connect any of these dots, and I'm like, oh my god. I feel like after I finish this I want to like read through it again and like put the things together, because I'm like, I don't know whether I'm just thick, but like I saw none of this coming. I was like a little bit suspicious about like one aspect, but like did not see this coming. Oh my god. Just had another plot twist again I literally didn't see coming. It's like revealed in the same way as like the other one, and again I literally just went, oh my god. It keeps getting me, this book. I keep not predicting these plot twists. Oh my god. Oh, kind of good though, kind of vibing with it. I'm on page 283 now, and I believe there's like 400, so only about 100 pages left. I might finish it tonight. The twists will not stop twisting. Oh my god. I don't know whether I'm just like super gullible when I read and like I just take absolutely everything as like truth face value, but like, oh my goodness, this is starting to make sense now. Obviously, as the book is less than 100 pages from the end, I'm like, it starts to make sense. Oh my god, this is so good. The amount of twists in this book, oh my god. I am bamboozled. I am bamboozled. Oh my god, I just finished it. Just finished Wrong Place Wrong Time by Gillian McAllister. I loved that. That was so good, but unfortunately it wasn't quite, I think, the 5-star feeling. I mean, I struggle with my 5 stars because some of them I'm just like, oh, I love them so much, I love them so much, 5 stars. and then other ones I'm like for what it is, it's a 5-star, but like I'll probably dump it down to a 4.75 just at the moment. And I feel like I'll need to think on it more, see if it sticks with me, if I'm going to keep it as a 5-star. I did this like the opposite way around when I read Final Offer like last month. It was like a romance book. I did a reading vlog for it, but it was like I'm debating about it, and I was like, no, I think it should be a 5-star, but then I'm thinking now, and I'm like, that's not, I was a 4.75, but then if this was a 4.75, maybe this should be a 5-star. So I'm going to stick it as a 4.75 for now, but I did absolutely love it, and I will continue to think about it. It was so good. The twists, the turns, the overall message as well, I loved the little bit at the end as well. Just so good. And the very final twist, I did guess. There was like one final like little reveal just towards the end. I did predict that, which I was quite pleased of. I predicted that reasonably early on, but yeah, very interesting. Really enjoyed this. Next, I believe, is the Book of Cold Cases by Simone St. James. I've got this from the library, so I do need to read this soon, and I'm very excited about it. I think this is more like spooky type of vibes, but yeah, very excited for this one. But yeah, absolutely love this one. Very good. I forgot to mention where I would rank it, but definitely the best I've read so far. I really did love Killers of a Certain Age. I don't know if I mentioned, but I did end up giving that a 4.5, but like the enjoyment was different. This one I was like, oh my god, and the other one was like, oh, it's just like so nice to read kind of things, kind of vibes. Do you know what I mean? Like you just get different vibes of books, like the way that I gave True Crime Story a 5-star, but also The House on the Cerulean Sea 5 stars. Different vibes. But yeah, so I think so far it would go All Good People Here, Daisy Darker, The It Girl, Killers of a Certain Age, and then Wrong Place, Wrong Time, and then we're going to start the Book of Cold Cases. So yeah, I'll catch up to you when I am partway through that, probably 100 pages in. Okay, so I have a update on the Book of Cold Cases by Simone St. James. I am about 125 pages in, so about like 30% of the way through or so, and I am really enjoying it so far as well. Basically, we are following Shay, who is like an amateur true crime journalist, and she's basically interviewing this woman called Beth Greer, whose parents died like kind of mysteriously, and she lives in this really creepy old house, and she's been accused of these 2 murders about 30 years previously, and she got acquitted, but like there just wasn't too much evidence and stuff like that. So Shay is interviewing her and kind of trying to get to the bottom of the case, but then at the house it's all a bit creepy, it's a bit supernatural, and I am really enjoying it. I wasn't really looking forward to getting into this one because for some reason I thought it was just like a haunted house story, but the Book of Cold Cases should have probably got my brain ticking and realizing it's more like crimey. So yeah, very intrigued by this one so far. It's definitely very spooky, and yeah, I am enjoying it. Hopefully I'll finish it today. It's got like 341 pages, so I've got about 220 left, so I mean I should be able to sit down and finish this in like 2.5 hours, but yeah, definitely should get this one done today. And yeah, very intrigued by it. It's definitely a bit out of my comfort zone, not something I would normally read, but overall I am enjoying it. Okay, so I've just finished the Book of Cold Cases by Simone St. James, and I'm a little bit conflicted. I enjoyed it, but I didn't love it. I think I'm going to give it a 3.5, which is the same rating that I gave the It Girl. So I think in terms of ratings, I'm not sure if I preferred it to the It Girl or not. I think I would rank it All Good People Here, Daisy Darker, The It Girl, Book of Cold Cases, Killers of a Certain Age, and then Wrong Place, Wrong Time so far for me. Those have been the orders that I've enjoyed them the most. But yeah, it was okay. It definitely was spooky. It was definitely creepy, and it definitely left me feeling like a little bit unsettled. I feel like this would be a really good movie, and it was definitely very entertaining. I just felt like I like to have a little bit of a plot twist or a reveal in a thriller that kind of like takes me by surprise or makes me think, and I didn't feel like this one did that, and I didn't really like the reveal. Like I feel like it made sense, but like I don't know, I just didn't really enjoy it too much, that part of it. But overall I do think it was a very well written book, very spooky, definitely very like haunted house kind of horror movie vibes. So yeah, definitely very fun, entertaining read, and I did read pretty much all of this today. I think from the 100-page mark I basically read today, so really did enjoy this one, and I thought it was pretty good. So next I believe we are moving on to The Bullet That Missed by Richard Osman. This is the 3rd in the Thursday Murder Club series, which I've loved so far. I've given those books a 4 and a 4.75 I believe so far, and I am super excited about this. Also, look at the naked hardcover, it's got a little silver fox on it. I love it when there's just something on the naked hardcover. I feel like it looks so much better. So yeah, this is called The Bullet That Missed. I have no idea what it's about, but I really love these books, so I just think I'm going to go into it blind, and I'm very, very excited. So yeah, I'll catch up with you probably when I'm about 100 pages in. Okay, so I'm currently pretty much bang on halfway through A Bullet That Missed by Richard Osman, and I thought I would just give you a little mini update whilst I get ready. I'm currently at my boyfriend's house, which is why the surroundings look a little bit different, but basically yeah, I'm just halfway through, and to be fair, it pretty much is very, very similar to the other two books, which I did very much enjoy. I believe I gave the first one a 4.25 and the other one a 4.75. I think I'm enjoying it more than the first and less than the second, so at the moment we're sitting around a 4.5, I guess. But yeah, very much enjoying it so far. It's such a quick read for me. The pages, like the font on the pages is pretty big, and the pages are like quite, you know, there's not much on the page, but I'm literally like reading this so fast. I'm getting through it literally so quickly, which is obviously a sign of a good book and a sign of me like enjoying the book, I guess. But yeah, really, really enjoying it so far. I really don't have too much to say. I think it's still, like, I find the book very funny. I think it's very comedic, and I think potentially the second book was a bit funnier, but like, I mean, obviously we're only halfway through. I'm also enjoying the little mystery. I love the characters as always, and yeah, I think like just the more you get to know the characters, the more you just enjoy the book, and I just think it's so cozy. It gives me such like a warm feeling when I read the book, and it's just so entertaining for me. So I think I've got a train ride tomorrow for about 3 hours, so I think I should definitely finish this one off on the train, to be honest, if I don't even read more tonight, which I probably expect I will. But yeah, really enjoying it so far, and yeah, just thought I'd give you a little update that yeah, it's going really, really well. And I mean, if you like the first two, you're obviously gonna like the third one. And I also just heard that the fourth one's coming out in November this year, October or November this year, which is very, very exciting, and I'll definitely be picking that one up. But yeah, really enjoying this one so far. Okay, we have a lot to catch up on since I last saw you. So I finished The Bullet That Missed by Richard Osman. I really, really enjoyed this one. I think I'm going to give it a 4.5 stars. Like I said before, I enjoyed it more than the first and not quite as much as the second, so I feel like that fits quite well. So in terms of our other books so far, this is kind of how my ranking is going, with All Good People here at the bottom, and then The It Girl going in here. I think I gave Book of Card Cases maybe a 3.75 or a 3.5, I can't remember. Either way, I'm going to pop it in probably below Killers of a Certain Age, because they are both 4.5 to me. So that is how my personal order is going so far. And then I also started Flicker in the Dark a couple of days ago, so I started it via audiobook. So I'll pop in the clip bars part through it here. Okay, so I am now 100 pages into A Flicker in the Dark, and I'm really enjoying it so far. It's really good. We're basically following Chloe. It's pretty much the same as the synopsis. We're following Chloe, whose father was a serial killer. 20 years ago, they found out he'd killed 6 girls. He's arrested in prison, and now around the 20th anniversary, 2 girls have now gone missing, and they think it's like a copycat type of thing. They're trying to figure out what it is, what's going on, and she thinks that it's kind of like tied around her and her dad and stuff like that. So we're only just starting to get into it, but I am very much intrigued. I really do want to know what's going on. I mean, I have no idea about a rating at the moment. It's currently sitting at 4-star, but obviously I feel like with a thriller, the twists kind of make the rating for me personally. But yeah, I've been listening to this via audiobook as well. I think I've probably done about 20% physically and about 80% via audiobook, just because that is easy for me when I'm like getting ready and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm really, really enjoying it, and yeah, having a great time. I am very intrigued, and I probably will finish it in the next couple of days, I think. I don't think it will take me too long at all, because I'm already like 30% of the way through. But I did also finish this yesterday, and I gave this one, I believe I gave it another 3.5, I'm pretty sure, because I don't know, it was just okay. I found it a little bit boring. I feel like if I didn't have the audiobook, I definitely would not have got through it as fast as I did. I just think it was a bit long. I also didn't like how small the text was on the page. It was really, really small. I didn't find the twist all that surprising, to be honest. It was just okay really for me. So I'd probably put this probably above The It Girl, but maybe, I don't know about above or below the It Girl, maybe on par with the It Girl, to be honest, and then below the Book of Cold Cases, and so it would fit in here, if that makes sense, which is surprising because that was probably one of my most anticipated ones. And then I've also started the Paris apartment, which I am enjoying. I am about 67 pages into this, so not too far in at all. We basically just met the main character Jess and a couple of people in the apartment where she's staying, and she's meant to be staying with her brother who's gone missing, and they all seem to know a little bit. It's all a bit suspicious, so hopefully I can finish this one today, and then we've just got one book left, which is The Maid after that. So yeah, these are our books in order of how much I like them so far, and yeah, I guess I'll catch up with you when I'm further into the Paris apartment. Okay, so for an update, I'm now just under halfway through the Paris apartment. I'm on page 177 and I have started listening to it via audiobook as well. It's just not gripping me. I don't know why. I really thought I was going to enjoy it loads, but for me it's not hitting quite the way I want it to. I think the issue for me is that there are too many perspectives. Obviously it's good to have a lot of suspects. I do like that when it's like a locked room almost. It's not a locked room, but like when you have a small cast of characters, I do enjoy having, you know, a decent size. Like I said with Flicker in the Dark, that's what I didn't like about that one. But with this one, you're in all their perspectives and it does get a little bit confusing. I mean, I'm starting to grasp it now, but I'm literally halfway through. For a while, I was very confused with what was going on and like the entire vibes of it. Like it says on the back, there was a murder here last night. I hadn't read the blurb. I wasn't even sure that there was a murder until like maybe 70 pages ago, so like 100 pages in. And yeah, I just have no idea where this is going. I don't feel like I've got any clues either, do you know what I mean? And we're like almost halfway through, so I'm very perplexed. But yeah, I am starting to listen to it via audiobook, but I probably will try again in the physical book. I'm aiming to finish it tonight because I'd love to start getting this video up before I go away. But yeah, that is just kind of where we are at. I really don't have too much to say. The writing as well, like with a couple of the perspectives, it felt a bit too much, just like, I don't know how to properly phrase it, but more like just telly, rather than, you know, the kind of phrase show not tell. It felt a lot telly, and it felt a bit like I'm this person and I do this and that type of thing, which I didn't love. But I'm hoping it will improve because I did have quite high hopes for this one. Okay, so I'm further through the Paris apartment now. I am currently on page 256, which is supposedly about 70% of the way through. Not too sure how much of that I believe, but that's what it says on Goodreads. And yeah, so I was initially going to update you and be like, I'm actually kind of intrigued, I'm kind of enjoying it. And then there were like 3 small reveals, kind of like chapter after chapter after chapter. And it's really bad because it's making me like laugh out loud. It's a bit ridiculous at this point. If you've read the book, you'll know about this point. You get like the 3 reveals and it's like 1 and you're like cool, and then you're like 2 and you're like okay cool, and then you get 3 and you're like really? 3? Okay. But yeah, it's getting a little bit ridiculous, but it's kind of funny. But I am very intrigued by it, I can't lie. I'm very intrigued to see how this all went down. I feel like it's got to have a good plot twist in there, and I haven't yet had one. There was a midpoint one, probably like only a few chapters after I last updated you, that was like a type of one, and then we haven't really had any big ones since then, and that was about probably like a quarter almost of the book ago. So yeah, overall I probably will finish it this evening. I'm very intrigued, but like some of the reveals I am laughing out loud a little bit, I can't lie. But yeah, overall it is entertaining, I will say. It's definitely not below a 3. I definitely say it's high 3s, 4-ish area. Okay, so we have some updates. Last night I did finish the Paris apartment and it was good. It was very interesting and definitely left me like very intrigued up until the end. I think overall the reveal at the end wasn't my absolute favorite. I ended up giving this a 3.5 stars. Again, we've had so many 3.5s in this video, it's ridiculous. I was kind of debating whether to bump it up to a 3.75. I'm still a little bit unsure because I do like this more than the It Girl and the Book of Cold Cases. So actually, no, I think I will round it up to a 3.75, and I think I'm pretty happy with that rating. This type of reveal in a book isn't kind of my favorite for a thriller, and I just didn't really love it to pieces. And then I've also been reading the Maid audiobook. so I'll jump in the clip when I was partway through. Okay, I'm halfway through The Maid now, and I am enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. I'm listening to it fully by audiobook and I like it. I've heard some criticisms saying that Molly is like autistic coded and it's not explicitly mentioned. I was kind of initially under the kind of view that it shouldn't have to be stated. Like, I feel like that would almost make it like performative for it to be like, by the way, she is autistic, da, da, da. And like, you can just show those traits, you don't have to like explicitly say it. But I think the more we see from her, the more I think of the way other people interact with her, it would almost be unrealistic for them to not understand the reasons she behaves a certain way is because she's on the spectrum. I don't know if that's just me, but I feel like if someone was behaving like that, I wouldn't be like, that's suspicious. I'd be like, oh, they're probably autistic. So I feel like that's a little bit flawed, but besides that, I am enjoying it. I do think it's much more of a mystery rather than a thriller. I'm not getting any kind of like thrillery vibes, but obviously it's the thriller and mystery category, but it's fine. I think it's probably a high 3, maybe a 4, we'll see. But yeah, I don't really have too many complaints. I really do like Molly, our main character. That's pretty much all I've got to say. I haven't really got too much to say about it. Yeah, I don't think it's something I'd have initially picked up. I also do think that it was probably marketed a lot more, at least from what I saw, as a thriller and kind of like a really big book, but it's just a bit of a basic book for me. I know this is number 1. I wouldn't put this number 1. I'd probably put this, like, in terms of the list, probably, I mean, I wouldn't even probably nominate it. There's other thrillers that I think are a bit better, but you know, I'm enjoying it. Do you know what I mean? It's not a bad book. I'm enjoying my time listening to it. I'm not like dreading having to pick it up and stuff like that. So overall it's going pretty well. And now I have finished that. I finished it this morning and it was good. Again, this is another 3.5 or 3.75 for me. I'm not sure where I want to put it. This was definitely more of a mystery than a thriller, and yeah, I'm just not too sure where to put it because it was good and I really liked the main character. I think I'm going to also give that a 3.75 as well, just because I think that if I had read it physically as well, I would have really enjoyed it potentially more than the others that I didn't read physically. And I feel like reading things as an audiobook, it's always a little bit of a disadvantage for me because I feel like I'm not concentrating quite as much on the story. So yeah, 3.75. I really like the main character. I like the way it ended. There was no shock for me. Same with this one, there wasn't really any shock. But this one, I predicted the like final reveal very early on, and that was like something that was always in the back of my head that I thought was going to happen, and I was correct. With The Maid, I just, yeah, it was just good. It was definitely more of a mystery. It wasn't a thriller. There wasn't like big plot twist in there, but overall it was good and I did enjoy it. So yeah, I think 3.75 for both of them is good. And yeah, I feel like that is the end, so I'll catch up with you and we can wrap up this whole video. Okay, so that is me reading all of the Goodreads Choice Awards nominees for Best Thriller Mystery. So I'm going to talk about them in order of how much I liked them. So at the bottom of my list we have All Good People Here. I didn't really like it. It wasn't very good, and I kind of talked a lot about my opinions on that. Then we had Daisy Darker, which is going kind of bottom tier for me. I'm going to actually put them so you can see. I'll stack them there so you can see my little like order of them. But then we have Daisy Darker. Again, I didn't love this one too much. It was not very good. It was okay, but it just wasn't like what I was really looking for. Then after that, what would I put next after that? I think I put The Book of Cold Cases by Simone St. James. Definitely very spooky, brought the atmosphere, but overall it just wasn't really my favourite. Oh wait, no, we've got the ones that I read by audiobook. So I think I put the It Girl in, did I say the It Girl above or below Book of Cold Cases? I think I put the It Girl above in here. So It Girl goes in 4th to last place, so that is 7th place. So it goes All Good People Here, Daisy Darker, Book of Cold Cases, It Girl. Then I'm going to put in Flicker in the Dark. This one again was a little bit underwhelming for me. I definitely had a lot higher expectations, and unfortunately it just didn't really hit the way that I wanted it to. Then we had The Paris Apartment and The Maid. I think I'm going to put The Maid in next, so imagine The Maid's in here, and then I'll put in The Paris Apartment. I like them both fine. They just, I didn't think were best thriller mysteries of the year kind of for me. I've read better ones that are not nominated, not on the list, so unfortunately that is going there. Then I think I'm toying between Bullet That Missed and Killers of a Certain Age. I feel like I really liked Killers of a Certain Age because it felt unique, very nice and cozy, but The Bullet and Mist, I just really love being back in the world with the characters. So I'm kind of, I think just because I think the issue is that I am already connected to the Bullet That Missed characters, so I'm going to put it like that, Killers of a Certain Age, then Bullet That Missed, and then finally put Wrong Place, Wrong Time at the top. That is definitely my favourite. That was an excellent book and I really did enjoy it. So yeah, those are my rankings for the Goodreads Choice Awards, with All Good People here at the bottom, then above Book of Cold Cases, The It Girl, then above Flicker in the Dark, The Maid, and then the rest of it fits as normal. So as nice as it would be to have all the books, unfortunately I did have to do it that way. But yeah, I really hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a like down below, hit subscribe, turn on the bell, join the little club, and thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to watch my other videos, there'll be 2 on the screen now to pick from, as well as a load linked up in the cards from earlier. So yeah, thank you guys again. I really hope you enjoyed it. This is a long time in the works, and I might do another one if you guys do enjoy it. But yeah, thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!